Welcome back, everybody. Brian Kleiban here. The episodes continue rolling out towards Qatar. USA roster drop today. We'll get to that at the end of the episode. I just want to get back to the Q&A that I posted on my Twitter feed last week, and we'll address those few questions that were posed to me, and then we'll get to this roster drop heading to Qatar. So first question was Sebastian Bulas. And he said, if the U.S. is to succeed at this World Cup, how do you see that happening? How would each group game go, and who would be the most critical player? Wow. Okay, I think for the team to succeed, we're going to have to be assassins. By that I mean, when we create the limited chance that we're going to have in front of goal, whether that's in the run of play or set pieces, we have to punish. That's the only way we're going to get out of the group. No matter, I already kind of introduced that the group is the easiest one. However, there's going to be problems in these games, okay? Match day 1 against Wales, I see it being a similar type game than we saw in Cardiff last year. I think it was in 2021 when we played out there. Might have been, 2021 October. So it's going to be tough to break down Wales, okay? We need to get 3 points that game, or we're going to be in big trouble. With England, I think at best we can aim to get a point out of that game. And then if we have to go against the Iran game with everything on the table, all to play for, it's going to be a very tricky fixture for us. So we need to get 4 points out of the first 2 games. Let's hope we can do so. Is that part of your question? How would each group game go? Yeah. And the most critical player might just be our goalkeeper. It might be Matt Turner. Now that we know that we're going to omit Stefan, it's going to be Matt Turner having to do a Tim Howard and stand on his head and make big plays in the group phase, in my opinion, right? Gio and Christian need to be difference makers in the few opportunities they're going to get, like I opened up the question with. So thank you for that, Sebastian. I hope I touched on all your points. Question number 2 says, if we assume Greg is going to play in his current 4-3-3, what is Gio's best position? Well, it's definitely not as a winger, where they want him to press. They want him to make that progressive winger runs and just be vertical and run off the ball. That's not Gio's game. Gio needs contact with the ball to be a difference maker. So he would have to play as one of the attacking mids. The problem there, that I've addressed many times, even though we need more creativity, the players behind him, are they actually going to break lines and get Gio in good spots on the field? Or is Gio going to get the ball 60, 70 yards from goal? We have to expect magic from Gio. It's not going to happen at this level, at the international level. He's not as accompanied as he is at Dortmund. He's not surrounded by the same type of profile players. So it's going to be very, very difficult, in my opinion. People want to say that Gio's a good guy in cage matches and he's physical. Fuck off. Gio's not that. Gio's a finesse player. He's not going to go and start scrapping and winning duels against Wales midfielders. He's not going to win duels against the English midfielders. It's just not going to happen. So Gio's probably going to play wide, and he's going to have freedom to roam and do his thing. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever said this. I genuinely believe that if Greg had the chance to just go ahead and play whoever he wanted, he would not want Gio on the field or Christian on the field, because they're not the obedient type. They're not going to fill the roles the way he wants to tactically. So it's a conundrum. It's a problem for Greg that he has to fit these guys in to his system, per se. Here we go. Question number 3. Thanks for the question, man. Question number 3 is Ahan, maybe? Says, how come most college soccer teams' main goal-scoring opportunities are set plays and are completely devoid of any creativity in the run of play? Is that just the standard of college soccer and the level of coaching? It makes no sense. Are the players not good enough? Man, to be honest, man, I've been pretty dormant in the college scene the last couple of years, but I'll occasionally watch some of my ex-players just to track their progress, see how they're doing. I mean, there's very few creators on the field in the college game. I think it mimics our pro game. I think it mimics our youth game. I think it mimics our senior men's national team even. there's more destroyers than creators. Why is that? Those guys are cast aside. Coaches don't know how to utilize these types of players. So when the going gets tough, they want guys that are going to grind, that are going to win first balls, that are going to win duels, that are going to win second balls. So yes, with less creators on the field, you see less goal scoring opportunities. We have the problem across the board. And I agree with you. It's set pieces, it's transition moments, and it doesn't make for an appealing game to watch. Very athletic, right, in the college game. Yeah, I hope I touched on those points for you, man. College soccer, I'm sorry, not my forte lately. Next question is from Scott_H2. Thoughts on Pepi potentially starting in the World Cup? Also, what do you think about his club situation since it was just announced that he won't be returning to Augsburg? Listen, I'm a fan of Pepi. It's well documented that I think he has enormous potential. It's also well documented that I don't think he is ready right now to be a full-fledged international at the senior team level. Just no chance in terms of elevating us and helping us at this level right now. Down the line, I think Pepi has attributes that could be very, very interesting. So again, for me, he shouldn't be on the World Cup roster. He should be helping our U20s. But he's there. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be the starter. I think he's going to be a super sub. He's gotten a lot of continuity now in the Dutch league. He's scoring goals. He's getting assists. He's taking shots. He's got match rhythm. So he's got all those things going for him. Yeah, and returning to Augsburg, I mean, I think we all can agree that it was a disaster move, right? Where he had no business being there. He's not his type of football. He's just like I'm saying, he's not ready for international football. He's not ready for that level. So he was set up to fail. But when the opportunity knocks, you have to take it, right? It was at least a transition to get to Europe. I'm sure he's on a much better salary than he was at FC Dallas. So the kid, we have to give him credit that he seizes his opportunities, be that with the national team, be that now in the Dutch league. He's given opportunities and he seizes them. So who's to say that Pepi's not our savior in Qatar? Here we go. Next question is Michael Lopez. Who are the creative players that we've been ignoring that you would bring in if you were making those decisions? It seems like we are stuck with choosing players from a certain box when we have so much more talent to pull from. So yeah, man, I'm just going to come out and say it. Richie Ledesma and Alex Mendez are guys who I think I've discussed for a long time, guys that are very near and dear to me, guys that made the jump with Tav's team, the U20 team, played at a high level, made the jumps to Europe. Richie at PSV currently, yes, people are going to come out and say, well, how can you say Richie should be there if he just got back, he's been injured, he's sparingly, barely ever gets on the field for the first team, 5-minute cameos, 8-minute cameo, 2-minute cameos. He started a game last week in the Europa League. How can you say that, Brian? It's very simple. It's their player attributes, okay? He has a unique skill set. Alex Mendez, again, he's deemed Ajax, young Ajax failure. There were younger guys playing over him. Listen, nobody really knows. Nobody's really there to see why they're successful or why they're not having success. But Alex Mendez, as you've seen now in the Portuguese league, is having incredible success, undisputed starter in a team that grinds to get results, that grinds to stay in the first division. So everything that they criticize about Alex over the years, that he's not a defender, he can't grind, he's a one-way player, he's a luxury player, that's all out the window now. Now, back to their skill set. What makes them unique is their creativity, their vision for the pass, and their execution. Nobody in our player pool, minus maybe Gio Reyna, could sit at their table when it comes to their technique, their vision, and their execution. So that is why those guys should be, no doubt about it, in the player pool and key components, especially in our region. We play nobody and we have the ball. We have the ball, but yet we employ players that have no creativity. So we don't create anything. So we struggle. It's got to be counterattacks, it's got to be set pieces, it's got to be Weston McKinney headers. We don't have it, guys. So these guys being snubbed or omitted, not given a chance, is just beyond me. Those are two clear examples. I could go on more, but we'll save that for another day. You know what? I'm going to say one more nugget there. it all comes back to what we want to accomplish. Okay, if we want to be an attacking team, if we want to graduate and have attacking type football, you have players with attacking qualities that can make a difference. If you want to be what we've always been, then continue to snub player profiles of Richie and Alex's caliber. Next one is related. It says, is Alan Senora the type of orchestrating midfielder who would help the U.S. men's national team graduate to a higher level? This is from La Scaloneta. La Scaloneta, man, I'm going to be brutally honest. I have not watched enough of Alan Senora or anything in recent times to give an opinion. Homework for me, okay? That's on my to-do list. I will circle back with you, whether it's in video format or via tweet back to you. I need to do my homework and get back to you on Alan Senora, which I think he's out now. He's out of contract and he didn't re-sign, so let's see where he ends up. Eli says, as a coach, would you leave Pepi at home to remain eligible for the U20 World Cup next summer and contend for the gold, or bring him to Qatar for experience? I mean, I touched on that earlier. Tough call, to be honest, okay? First off, I don't know if we're going to contend for gold, whether we have Pepi or we don't have Pepi. Okay, he's a talented 9 in our pool. He's not ready to help our senior team now. So, listen, it's a tough call, because if you truly believe that Pepi's going to be the 9 of the future for our national team, you take him. You take him to Qatar, because who would go in his place? This PFOC guy? No. Haji Wright? No. So there really are clear-cut candidates where you're like, yeah, this guy needs to be at the World Cup. So if Pepi's the guy of the future, take him for experience, right? He's the young guy that should go there, get the experience, learn, and 4 years down the line, he's ready, he's had the experience. So tough to call. Again, if it's my call, if I'm there, he's probably on the U20 roster next summer. I don't think he's ready to help us. But if I'm convinced, because I have Pepi on the training field and his qualities are unique and this is going to be the guy moving forward, then absolutely he should go to Qatar. Next question says, it's more of a statement. Eric says, good to see you guys linking up with 11 Yanks and Filippo. The next guy says pretty much the same thing. He says, I enjoy listening to the discussion. This is from Cal McNair Easterby. I hope you, Pete, and Filippo do more chats like that. What are your thoughts on the current U20 team? Any players that you think can help us graduate to the next cycle? So I like the player profiles on this U20 team. I think I've stated this. Jogo, so Jonathan Gomez as the left back, Mauricio Cuevas as the right back. Those are players that we'll see how they develop, but those are players that have similar qualities to the elite left backs and right backs in world football, okay? Unlike what we have in DeAndre Yedlin or Reggie Cannon or Jedi or guys like this that don't have these types of qualities that resemble the world-class outside backs. In central midfield, I like McGlynn. I think he's smooth. I think he has vision. I think he can execute the final pass. I like Alvarado, who brings both attacking qualities and defensive qualities and presence to the midfield. I like Diego Luna. I like Paxton Aronson type profiles. What I don't like, and I've said it, is the Jordan Morris Jr. and Kate Cow. That's not a profile of player that I like. So yes, there's a lot of good player profiles. I think Sean Shakiris and Mikey Varas have a good eye for that. I think they know what they want from their team, what it needs to look like on the pitch, and they've been pretty good about selecting the appropriate players to execute their vision. So I'm excited about that group. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes at the World Cup next May. I think that's it for the Q&A, guys. So let's touch briefly on BK's opinion. I've been purchasing tickets. I've been acquiring tickets. I've been ready for Qatar for a while now. Tick tock, tick tock. Roster's being announced today in a matter of hours in New York. We'll see how that event goes on ESPN and what Greg says or doesn't say based on his selections. If he's open and shares his sentiments of why a guy was omitted or why a guy's being selected or not, I'm intrigued. We'll see how it goes. It's been leaked. I think the roster's pretty much explained itself. The big surprise now is the goalies, which, as I've always stated, not my forte. But Zach Steffen not being there is a big, big wow to everybody. He's been the guy the entire cycle. Yes, Matt Turner came out of nowhere. Matt Turner's probably the better shot-stopping goalkeeper, but it's further evidence that we're just deviating from the plan and we're not going to expect to build out. We're not going to play out of the back. We're just moving forward. We're going to be the same old. We're just going to divide the ball and play forward, and Matt Turner's better at that stuff. So I assume, again, we're going to go in the speculation mode. I assume Stefan's probably like, fuck this. I'm not going to go and be the backup. And that was a conversation that was had, and that's why he's not going. So keepers are Horvath, Sean Johnson, and Matt Turner. Whatever. The center backs, Aaron Long, Zimmerman, Carmen Carter-Vickers, and Tim Ream, the big surprise late on. Listen, guys, it's depressing. John Brooks not being there is depressing. Say what you will, he's our best center back. He's the most complete center back. The end. Chris Richards being injured and being omitted, it hurts. That was the center back pairing that I thought was our best hope to graduate to the next level. So we don't have either of those guys. Big misses. With the 4 guys that are selected, again, ball progression, ball security, bossing the game, owning the game, breaking lines, all that stuff goes out the window. These guys don't have those qualities. Moving on to the outside backs, Serginho Dest, Joe Scally, DeAndre Yedlin, Reggie Cannon, and the famous Jedi. So 4 right backs and 1 left back. Yes, Scally can play on the left. So can Yedlin. So can all these guys. Scally, Yedlin are polyfunctional. So again, guys, player profile. Who of these guys minus Serginho resembles the world-class outside backs? I'm not enthused. Reggie Cannon isn't it. DeAndre Yedlin, I have no idea why this guy is a part of the group. Scally, I'm excited about his future, but he's not ready to make an impact this World Cup. So that's the outside back pool. It's a problem. The creative midfield. Wow, the creative midfielders that we have on roster. Weston, Eunice, Tyler Adams, Kellen Acosta, Christian Roldan, Malik Tillman, Luca de la Torre. What do we got, guys? Who's going to be creative and feed our guys? It's the eternal problem. We knew this is going to be the midfield. They are who they are. Let's hope for the best that we can make some plays, but no surprises there, right? Just, again, evaluate our roster, just like we did in the Olympic qualifying tournament where we crushed Jason Christ. There is no creativity. It is going to be a problem. And up top, Pulisic, Gio, Wea, Aronson, Ferreira, Pepi, Sargent. I like Gio. I like Christian. I like Wea. I like Aronson. I like Jesus Ferreira. I think it's the strongest part of our team. But unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be fed the rock in good positions to make a difference, to be their normal selves. But that's the most exciting part of the team for me is those guys. People will argue that Gio's creative, Christian's creative, Wea's creative, Brendan's creative. Yes, they're all creative, but none of them are going to play in midfield. So getting the ball is going to be a big problem for the crowd that watches the NBA. If you don't have a good point guard, big problem, right? To get the ball fed to your center, your power forward, or whoever the guys that shoot from 3-point range are. If you're an NFL fan, you don't have a good quarterback to deliver the ball, big problem. You could have the best receivers, guy can't throw you the ball, and you're not impactful. So for our non-soccer crowd that watches this game, it's a big problem to not have a creative midfield. So the roster drop, we'll see what happens, if there's any other surprises. And guys, TikTok, we're getting on the plane soon. Friday the 18th, I'm out. I arrive Saturday the 19th. I'll be recording live from Qatar. I think we'll put something out before my departure and then be ready for content. Again, if you haven't checked out, I had a nice discussion with 11 Yanks and with Tactical Manager. Check that out as well. And guys, Qatar is upon us. I told you we'd be there. Now what are we going to do once we're there? U.S. men's national team, guys. Light the candles, pray, and let's get on with the show.